Security delivers national address. The details on these stories and more after the break.
Boom! Join in the experience with Courts Ready Cash for the Syncits Music Festival with a loan of $3,000 or more and pay nothing for 60 days. Plus, you could be eligible for a reduced interest rate. Don't miss out. Enjoy flexible payment terms, hassle-free service, and fast approval. All you need is your ID, proof of address, payslip, job letter, and 2 references. That is the day. Apply now. Visit shopcoats.com or call 466-1640 or 662-9425. Get your full Syncits Music Festival experience with Courts Ready Cash. We are ready whenever you are. Conditions apply.
In cricket, there are a few essentials: a bat, a pitch, a ball, some fielders, and plenty of refreshments. Enjoy the cricket with Angostura Chill. Angostura Chill, the official refreshment partner of the Hero CPL T20.
Hello and welcome to the ZIZ Channel 5 newscast. I'm Carla Berridge. The police are investigating a fatal shooting at Dorset Park on Tuesday afternoon. Investigations are still underway and officers are still collecting information. However, ZIZ has learned that the victim is Vaughn Paris of Market Street. The incident occurred between 2:15 and 2:45 at Dorset Park. The investigation is ongoing and we'll have more information as it becomes available. The police are also investigating the circumstances surrounding the shooting death of a male that occurred in a vehicle on the F.T. Williams Highway on Tuesday morning. ZIZ understands that the victim was Alden Maynard, better known as OJ. In footage obtained by a member of ZIZ's news team, a van with license plate PA6350 can be seen on the F.T. Williams Highway with one occupant slouched over in the vehicle. Police were on the scene and cordoned off a section of the highway. Members of the crime scene unit were then seen collecting evidence in the presence of onlookers. In a release, the police said the incident occurred between 6 a.m. and 7 a.m. Law enforcement responded to reports of gunshots on the F.T. Williams Highway in the vicinity of Lagreet. Upon arrival at the scene, 47-year-old Alden O.J. Maynard of Gillard Meadows was found motionless in his vehicle with apparent gunshot wounds about his body. He was pronounced deceased at the scene. The crime scene unit processed the scene and collected materials. Prime Minister Honorable Dr. Terence Drew says the Ministry of National Security will be taking steps to address the recent upsurge in violent crime. In an address on Tuesday, the Prime Minister outlined the measures the police will be taking shortly.
Increased security presence in our communities through various methods. 2. Further engagement of regional and international security experts to work along with our forces. 3. Strengthening of the intelligence capabilities of the security forces. 4. Expansion of the CCTV infrastructure island-wide. And 5. Enhancement of evidence gathering capabilities to ensure that perpetrators are brought to justice.
He said Cabinet will also be reviewing the laws to increase the punishment for gun-related crimes.
The Cabinet has also agreed to table legislation in the National Assembly to increase the penalty for illegal firearms offences from 15 to 25 years in prison. I reassure you that our security forces will be unrelenting in working collaboratively in their obligation to preserve law and order in our federation. Our streets must remain safe so that the law-abiding citizens and residents of our federation can enjoy their peace and tranquility.
The Prime Minister also dispelled claims that the peace program has ended and that has caused the recent shootings.
Contrary to the propaganda peddled in social media by irresponsible naysayers, the Labour Party administration did not stop the peace program. However, your government, on taking office, began and continues to be committed to the reformation of the program with rehabilitation at its core. Prime
Minister Honorable Dr. Terence Drew. Prime Minister and Minister of National Security Honorable Dr. Terence Drew has commissioned a National Security Task Force to initiate the rollout of a new initiative that approaches crime and violence from a public health perspective. The task force is comprised of the Prime Minister, Minister of National Security and Chairperson Honorable Dr. Terence Drew, Dr. Isben Williams and senior management officials from across the government, including the Ministry of National Security, Ministry of Education, Ministry of Social Development and the Prime Minister's Office. The team is currently developing a comprehensive and scientifically proven action plan to implement and sustain a culture of non-violence within the Federation. Minister of National Security Honorable Dr. Terence Drew stated, quote, "Societal peace and stability are prerequisites for true social and economic development and for the accomplishment of our progressive, sustainable island state agenda. I strongly believe that what is learned can be unlearned if there is early application of best practice interventions from various sectors," end quote. Several programs will be rolled out to target children ages 6 to 12 years and adolescents ages 13 to 19 years to help remodel their thinking and behavior by strengthening conflict resolution skills, critical thinking and analytical skills, and boost their self-esteem. In addition to social interventions, the concept will embrace criminal justice by enhancing law enforcement initiatives and reviewing some of our current laws. After the break, eligible nationals can travel to Canada without visa, and education officials discuss education sector plan. Stay with us.
Here are your Horseman Value Mart IGA specials.
Running June 1st to the 14th.
And now your Value Club Blue Tag specials. Essential Everyday Mayonnaise, just $19.99. Lay's Stack Chips, $8.99. Nabisco Oreo Cookies, $17.99. Essential Everyday Cream Cheese, $7.99. Mott's Applesauce, just $13.79. Palmolive Ultra Dish Liquid, $15.99. And now your very low weekly
Value deals! Bumblebee Chunk Light Tuna, Water and Oil, $4.49. Kraft Barbecue Sauce, $7.49. Langus Cranberry Juice, $11.99. IGN Essential Everyday Pasta, $4.99. Nature Valley Granola Bars, $9.99. Soft Soap Liquid Hand Soap, $4.99. Shop Smart, Shop Value Mart, dale Spanish.
sea listo y haga sus compras aquí en
Value Mart!
There is no better time to discover what your National Bank Visa debit or Black Cards can do.
Mimi, what's that song?
It can get you out of a pickle. Using my National Bank Visa card is fast, secure, and convenient.
Cashless SKN is our new lifestyle choice. National Bank, always here.
Welcome back. Nationals of St. Kitts and Nevis who meet certain requirements are able to travel to Canada without a visa. In a statement issued on Tuesday, Canada's Minister of Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship, Honorable Sean Fraser, announced the addition of 13 countries, including St. Kitts and Nevis, to the Electronic Travel Authorization ETA program. Travelers from these countries who have either held a Canadian visa in the last 10 years or who currently hold a valid United States non-immigrant visa can now apply for an ETA instead of a visa when traveling to Canada by air. An Electronic Travel Authorization ETA is an entry requirement for visa-exempt foreign nationals traveling to Canada by air. An ETA is electronically linked to a traveler's passport. With a valid ETA, you can travel to Canada as often as you want for short stays, normally for up to 6 months at a time. You can apply for an ETA on the Canada government's website, canada.ca, under the section Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship. The cost is $7 Canadian. It is valid for up to 5 years or until the passport expires, whichever comes first. The other countries that benefit from the program are Antigua and Barbuda, Argentina, Costa Rica, Morocco, Panama, Philippines, St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Seychelles, Thailand, Trinidad and Tobago, and Uruguay. Senior education officials are engaging in a series of meetings to formulate a strategic plan for the education sector, while also implementing a work plan for this year. On Tuesday, a meeting was held at NHC Conference Room, where Acting Chief of Education Planning in the Ministry of Education, Carla Diamond, explained the need for these meetings.
Today we are having a resensitization exercise for the education sector plan. Now the education sector plan is really supposed to be the blueprint that is governing what is happening in education over a certain period. The period for this current sector plan is actually 2017 to 2021. But because of the pandemic, we had to forego a number of the activities. And as a result, we're here to take stock. We want to look at the activities and see what have we accomplished and what is still outstanding. So during this resensitization exercise, we have the senior leadership, which comprises the heads of the various departments in education, and we are going through the education sector plan. So the main thrust of this exercise is really to do the diagnosis of the sector plan and to form a work plan for this year and to get a new strategic plan going forward.
She outlined the importance of the education sector plan.
There was a diagnosis of the education sector, and all of the policy issues that came out of that diagnosis would have informed the education sector plan. Today, we really just went to the resensitization, the background, the overarching goals. There are 3 overarching goals, which is access and participation, quality and relevance of education, and governance matters, including planning, management, and leadership. So we would have looked at those areas and would have seen, just reminded ourselves of what the plan was about, what were the overall goals and objectives.
She said evaluating the sector plan will allow for the formulation of the annual education work plan.
Moving forward, what we are going to do, we are going to be now analyzing the plan and seeing what have we accomplished so far, what is still outstanding, what is in progress. Having made that determination, we will then move on to our annual work plan. And our annual work plan would help us to prioritize those program areas and strategies that were actually not completed. So once that is done, we move from the annual work plan to having a sort of mini strategic plan depending on how many program areas are still outstanding. And then that will move on to inform what we are going to do for the next 5 years. But before we move forward, we need to understand and appreciate what we have already accomplished.
The Resensitization and Education Sector Plan Review will end on Thursday, June 8th, 2023. In their first in-person meeting since the COVID-19 pandemic, trade ministers from across the Commonwealth are meeting from June 5th to 6th at Marlborough House in London. Their meeting follows closely on the meeting of the senior trade officials that took place on June 3rd to 4th. The discussions were a follow-up to the virtual meeting held in January this year. The meeting covered topics important to all member states but had particular relevance for developing countries, ZIZ and CVEs. They focused on bridging the digital divide and digital infrastructure, climate change, fish subsidies, trade and investment, supporting the multilateral trading system, and inclusive and sustainable trade. Foreign Affairs Minister, the Right Honourable Dr. Denzel Douglas, who also holds the trade portfolio, thanked the Secretary General and congratulated the Commonwealth Secretariat for its technical assistance in trade facilitation and capacity building for St. Kitts and Nevis. He called on the Secretariat and larger countries to support small states in addressing the trade imbalances and in bridging the digital divide as a means of encouraging investment and greater intra-Commonwealth trade. The Trade Minister emphasized the importance for small states to be able to access appropriate levels of finance for development. He further stressed the imperative of adopting an approach that prioritizes the use of a multidimensional vulnerability index in any meaningful discourse on trade especially in light of challenges such as natural disasters, climate change, structural vulnerabilities of small states, and the continued use of GDP per capita as a criterion for assessing a country's eligibility to access concessionary financing. Dr. Douglas is accompanied by St. Kitts and Nevis's High Commissioner to the United Kingdom, His Excellency Dr. Kevin Isaac, and Mr. Kevin Atherton, Project Research Officer in the Ministry of International Trade. The Energy Unit within the Ministry of Public Infrastructure and Utilities welcomes creatives of all ages to participate in a jingle competition. In a press release, the Energy Unit asked that persons craft a catchy, high-energy original jingle that will stand the test of time. The jingle should incorporate lyrics referencing energy-related terms such as renewable energy, energy efficiency, 100% renewable energy target, going green, geothermal energy, wind energy, solar energy, and waste to energy. The jingle should be no more than 1 minute in length. The winner will receive a $1,000 EC cash prize and a professional recording session. Submission forms are available on the Ministry's Facebook page. The deadline for submission is June 30th, 2023 at 11:59 p.m. Further details of the competition are available on the Ministry's Facebook page, or you may contact the Energy Unit at 467-1449. Coming up in regional news, death toll reaches 42 as Haiti inundated by deadly floods. The details.